Welcome to the Amazing Clarks podcast on the Black Love Podcast Network. My name is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we are the Amazing Clarks. We're both award-winning certified life and love coaches and a husband and wife duo that have been coaching together for 22 years and that have been passionately in love for 30. They call us the Amazing Clarks because we empower people to live amazing lives.
And you are joining us here for our Love Revolution, where we talk about concepts about love and energy and how to just put more love into the universe because we really need it. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, guys. And on today's show, we got a great topic for you singles. We're going to talk about compatibility and how do you know when you found the one. But before we get to that topic, let's catch up with the Clarks. So how you been, baby? How's your week been?
My week has been amazing. I'm back to going to dental offices, and all of January I did team building and goal setting and intentions and aligning energy, and it thrills my soul. So I am a happy girl right now. Coaching makes me happy.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes me happy too. I get it.
Yeah. How about you? How's your week?
Well, my week is, starting off pretty interesting. I will say that I finally got out the house today because we've just been locked down.
Yeah.
And I went to the store. I had to handle some business, so I took a walk. And man, it felt like I was on another planet. It felt so good to be out, just walking down the street and seeing people. Right. It felt great. The thing about it too, though, when I'm out and about, even though I really like to dress up, I'm about fashion, but sometimes I go straight bum. I mean, I look like a homeless person because I don't care.
Yeah.
And when I was walking down the street, I was just tripping out on people's reaction to me and how afraid people are of me and how people how they respond to me. And yes, I know I'm a big black guy. That's a part of it. And then when you dress like you're homeless, that's probably a part of it too.
That doesn't help, yes.
Yeah. But it was altogether, it was interesting, but it just was good to get out. And I felt like, you know what? I'm creating this hologram, this outside world, and I'm not experiencing it. So it felt good to finally get out and get a life.
When people react to you negatively, so say you see them react and they get scared of you, does that hurt your feelings?
It used to offend me, but not anymore.
So do you react to it? Do you get do you kind of puff up your chest more? Do you make yourself less intimidating? Do you react, or are you just whatever?
I don't give a dang diggly dang dong diggly damn. I really don't. And that's why I dress like that.
Yeah.
I'll just throw whatever on and do it because I don't care. But what I did do, I made it a point to talk to acknowledge people.
Yeah. Because
I find that because people react like that, I tend to not talk. But it's you know what? Just acknowledge people when they walk by. So when they walk by, I'll still nod my head, give the black man, what's up? You know how we do it.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, just a little head nod.
I see you.
Yeah, and they give it back. And if it was good, because this year I want to make it a point to do that more. Because that's connection. And I feel like that's what this world is missing. We're missing that connection. And everybody's treating each other as like strangers. And there was a time, remember we were growing up, where, at one point they were like, make friends, be friends, meet people. And then they came out with that campaign, don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the world just felt like they got disconnected. Like people weren't connecting anymore. And so I want to get back to, meeting people.
Connection
again. Yeah.
It
starts with you. You know what I'm saying? It starts with me, I should say.
Right. Well, we need each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected, whether we act like it or not. So I think that's great. I'm going to add that to my intentions to make sure that I look people in the eyes, because I've been guilty of that too. I just, I'm in my head, I'm in my routine, I'm in my schedule, and I don't pay attention. But I notice when I smile at people, when I look them in the eye, that I do feel the connection. So you're right. It starts with each one of us individually making an effort to connect to one another. And I think with COVID, that also is making people afraid of each other and not want to get near each other. And, and it makes sense. I completely understand it. But we have to make sure that we don't start thinking like that. Just know we're all being cautious, but we still need each other and we can still send each other love.
Yeah. It used to bother me sometimes when I would nod at people like, what's up? And they ignore me.
Right.
Or they see me and just turn away.
Yeah.
It used to bother me.
Yeah.
I get offended, but not anymore. So it's just you know what? That's not my issue. That's their issue.
Yeah.
They can't receive.
I'll share with you in my team meeting today, one of the themes was, remember that everyone is doing the best they can where they're at. So you don't know what's going on with people. So if they're not nodding, they could have something really stressful going on in their life or painful. So let's just have compassion for each other. So I'm glad that you don't get offended and you still make an effort to be loving and connect with people. Good job.
That's right. And by the way, people, I am not homeless. So I'm just dressing like that. So don't get it twisted.
No, you're not. You're not homeless.
So,
Yes.
compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know when you found the one?
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, why are you excited about it?
Because I love when people connect. I love when they find each other. I love when they know. And there is a knowing. There's a knowing when you find the right person. And I can just see it and feel it, like, especially when we're coaching single women and they meet someone, they start saying things like, it's so easy. And I can just tell and I could just feel it. And if you haven't experienced that yet, you don't know what that feels like. So let's talk about how you know when someone's compatible. So what about us? Let's start with us. How did you know that I was the one?
First of all, let me say that I spent a lot of time building a woman. No, we say build a man, build a bear, build a woman. And so it was like I knew I spent time figuring out the qualities that I want in a woman. So it was like, let me date as many women as possible so I can experience different qualities and then I can figure out my preferences.
Yes.
And so I kind of had a really good understanding of what I wanted on my list, my dream woman.
Right.
The first one was attractiveness.
Physical appearance.
Physical appearance, of course.
Right.
I wanted a woman that was tall because I'm 6'5", and there's nothing, just this tall woman that's just so sexy to me. That was a requirement. And also the conversation. I knew, first of all, when I saw you, I was attracted to you. You were tall. Check. Okay. And then when we were conversating, it was not only easy, it was fun. It was interesting. You can hold a great conversation. And to tell you the truth, up to that point, I hadn't met very many women that I could have those kind of conversations with. Deep concepts, esoteric concepts, and, life and spirituality, you name it. And me and you, we did that all night. So that was important. The other thing was sex.
I was going to say we didn't do that all night.
No, we did. What, the sex? We didn't do all night?
We didn't.
Where were you?
We didn't. we didn't talk all night.
Oh, no.
That's what I was saying.
Right. So the sex was amazing. That was the checklist. And then from there, it was just a matter of, what you wanted for the future.
Right.
What did we have similar goals for the future, similar dreams? And we did. And I could go on and on and on, but those were the main ones that jumped out at me.
Right.
So what about you?
I honestly just enjoyed you. And I wasn't actually looking for a life partner. I just wanted to go out with someone, spend time with someone that I just really enjoyed and that accepted me for who I was and that I could accept. Also, I wanted to have more conversations that had depth. A lot of the guys that I dated, it was so superficial and boring that one of the thing with you that really stood out was the conversation. Like, we went into really deep conversations and they were fun and we were on the same page. Also, we met in a small town and I just always wanted a bigger life than that small town. And you just came along with that New York swag and accent and goals and dreams. And they were just so big that I just fell in love with that. I just loved how you saw life and how you saw the world. And I just noticed that when I was with you, I felt completely comfortable. I didn't feel anxious. I didn't feel like I needed to adjust myself in any way. I just felt like I'm amazing and he's amazing and we're a fit. He fits me and I fit him. I could tell that I fit you.
Right.
And that really, for me, made me know we were compatible. Every date was fun. Every conversation was good. The lovemaking was always amazing. So everything was there. There wasn't anything about you that I didn't like. And you were strong and you led. You're very masculine. So I remember you said to me, and it kind of threw me off, but then I liked it at the same time. You were like, don't ever come by my house without calling. Don't be rolling up on me. And I had never heard that before. And I was like, he's got boundaries. Like, he knows what he wants and he's real. And we had just met and we weren't exclusive. And I was like, he is letting me know that he is in high demand. And I liked it. I know a lot of women think like, oh, that's a player or whatever. Actually, when we were dating, a lot of people told me you were a player. I was like, so I am too. Hell, he should be. He's fine. So I liked that about you. I really felt you had, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like you had star quality. And I saw that in you immediately. And I have star quality.
You did.
So
yes,
I was like, oh, I see you. Okay. We have this, we have a similar light.
Right.
So that's how I knew we were compatible.
You know, I also thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. So.
Okay.
I love you. And you know what? And it's this right here. The way we laugh together.
Yeah.
That was something that we still do. We always do.
Yeah.
And we had from day one. And once again, I hadn't met a woman that could make me laugh. And you just said and would do things that just had me in stitches, even to break my cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you make me break character. You make me laugh so hard. So I love that as well.
Right.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
What did you do differently? Like in your first marriage?
Yes.
How did you know that he was the one? Or did you do it the same way you did it with me, or it was a different process?
You really want me to talk about this right now? Is that what's really going to happen?
I can handle it. I can handle it.
Actually, in my first marriage, it was based on physical attraction, first and foremost. And then the next piece was, and I will recommend this to every single woman to look for this, it was, what kind of life are you trying to create? And when I met my first husband, I was really, really young. And the lifestyle that I was living was not necessarily the lifestyle that I wanted. And he also wanted a family. He wanted to buy a house. He wanted the fairy tale. And at that time, that's what I thought I wanted too. And so when we would have conversations, it would be about like the future that we'd want to create and what we wanted life to be like and our value system and all of those things. And so that was very attractive to me. And in all honesty, it worked. We attracted all those things together. I think I've said this before, by the time I was 25, I had bought a house. I had 2 kids. Like everything that we agreed we wanted, we created, but we didn't take into account our growth. I didn't take into account that I was a young girl and that I was going to grow into this woman and I was going to develop into someone else, and we didn't know how to grow together. So we grew apart. I became, like, literally, we almost became opposites. He's more conservative than I am. So as I got older and I wanted to try things and have experiences, he was not interested in those things and those experiences.
Right.
So I did it differently. I did a little bit differently. It was really more physical attraction than anything. And then the life that we wanted to create. I just wanted to get it done.
And that's a good point that you made, that how compatibility changes as you get older.
Yes.
And a lot of couples, they're on that, I ain't changing for nobody.
Yeah.
You can't change me. And if you do that, then when one of the partners starts to grow in a different direction and you don't want to do it, then you're not going to be compatible.
Right.
And so the key is to be able to make that change and to not be rigid about it, because to go there, you got to grow there, like we always say.
Yeah.
And if you're not growing, you're dying. So you're absolutely right. You know, in my first marriage, and I was really young when I first met her, my college girlfriend. Actually, I was 17.
Right.
When I met her. I turned 18 like within a couple of months later, but 17. And I was 3,000 miles away from home. And for the first time in my life, I was, an adult. And so I wanted to play house.
Yep.
And my criteria was, 1, she was pretty, and 2, she had a vagina. And it was like ding, 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 ding. And she had her own place. Well, we together, she was going to get a place and we moved in together. So it was like winning.
Right.
Winning. I could do this for the rest of my life. I got everything I need. A vagina, a pretty woman, and an apartment.
Right.
That's it. 1. Game over. Boy, was I wrong. Because, and I did what most people do. Most single people do that when they meet somebody. The compatibility that they gauge it by, it's so superficial.
Yeah.
And that superficial compatibility, if you gauge it by that, like sex, don't get me wrong, those things are important.
Right.
But sex and physical attraction, it's not, those things on their own, it's not enough to build and sustain a happy long-term relationship, a marriage.
Right.
And so, but I was young and I didn't know better.
Right.
For example, our love report cards.
Right.
That's about compatibility and helps people to gauge compatibility. And it's the 10 dimensions of love.
Yes.
And if couples are able to keep each other satisfied in all 10 dimensions, you have no choice but to have a great relationship. And those 10 dimensions are trust, honesty, consideration, communication, attitude, attentiveness, supportiveness, physical appearance, romance, and sex. To learn more about the love report cards, go to our old episodes. So, so if I would have known that now, when I look back at it, it's like, okay, let me go through that report card. Trust. F. There was no trust. Honesty. F. We were so dishonest with each other.
But you didn't know.
Right. But I'm just
saying. And you don't know what you don't know. And you know what I just realized listening to us talk about what we did was so many people today are stressed out and beating themselves up because they're mature, right? Say they're 30 or over 30 and they haven't met the one and they're not married and they're beating themselves up for that. I think that's evolution. I think that we're learning as a society that we have to be mature and we have to do self-work to attract a partner that we're going to have longevity with. I was 15 when I met my first husband. You just said you were 17. Right. We didn't do any self-work. We weren't even grown up yet.
No, that's my point. That's what I'm saying. When I look back at the report cards and I gauged it, if I would have known now, I wouldn't have been in that relationship. Don't get me wrong. I still probably would have had sex with her, but I wouldn't have committed. Yeah. So as I went through it, trust, honesty, no F, consideration, F, communication, F, attitude, F, attentiveness, F, supportiveness, F, physical appearance, A, romance, B, sex, A, B. Yeah. So overall, that was like if I added that up in my head, that's like a D- relationship.
Right. But you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. But then I look at like when I met you, I already knew better. And so that's why I was like, okay, she has trust. Okay. With honesty, consideration. We had all of those. And it's not all areas were A's. No. But then, because some areas are just going to be a work in progress that you got to put that work in. Right. It's like a fixer-upper. So most people are doing it that way, most single people. And so I'm just letting you single people out there know, if you're going to base your compatibility, if you're trying to find the one, you got to go deeper. It's got to be more than feelings. You got to have facts as well. And you got to look at the whole entire spectrum, because this is a person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, in most cases. So choose wisely. It's the most important investment you'll ever make in life. So invest wisely.
Well, and I also want to add to that, like I was saying, I think you and I were talking about that this week. Some people's picker is broken, right? Because they just keep picking the same type of person, and they're not realizing like that doesn't actually work for me. I'm actually not compatible with this person. But yet when it doesn't work out, then they go meet someone else. It's the exact same person.
You're right.
And they don't adjust. That's the whole goal of dating is, like you said, you date people. I like this. I like this. I like this. I don't really like that. Can't live with that. So I'm going to keep going. And now I know more of what I like. I'm clearer on what I like. And it's like sales. It's a numbers game. You gotta date and date and date until you find someone that has so much of what you want. And I agree with you. I think the report cards are a great way to gauge that, because those are things that are really going to make a difference in the long term of your relationship. There's no one that's perfect. And so you got to decide, like, can I deal with your imperfections? Can I live with them? Do I like so much about you that this one thing is going to be okay? And sometimes I think people get stuck in the trap of, I'm looking for the perfect person, and that'll keep you dating forever, because they don't exist.
Right.
Everyone has areas that they have to grow. So you have to just decide, like, what can I live with?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you right now, trust and honesty, the first two, you can't live without those.
Or communication.
Yeah. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work.
You know, something that I used to do where, first of all, I would not commit to any woman.
Right.
Especially when I was rebuilding myself after my divorce.
Right.
And one of the things that I would do is I would hold back any type of commitment until I see that person pissed the fuck off. I got to see that person when they're angry and when they're at their worst. And everybody has gets angry.
Right.
But how do you respond when you're angry like that? To me, that was an important thing as far as my compatibility.
Right.
Because, you can get upset, but don't go overboard. Don't go breaking stuff. Don't go throwing stuff. Don't go burning my stuff. Don't go throwing my stuff out the house, out the window, all of that crazy stuff.
Right.
But that was really important, because it's like you don't really know a person until you see that side of them. Because most people, they're going to show you what they want you to see. And so even then, you can't base your compatibility on that, because is that who they really are?
Yeah. But I think that goes back to that ease I was talking about. When you're compatible with someone, there's just a flow and there's an ease in it. And even when they're upset, you can handle their upset. You can work through their upset, because that ease is there. But you do need to see people when they're not at their best. And also you need to let them see you when you're not at your best, so you see how they show up for you. That was something that I noticed with you right away. Like, when I had something going wrong in my life, or I was struggling at work, you showed up for me. You would listen to me. You'd work through it with me. You'd talk to me. You'd give me great advice. So to me, you always showed up when I needed you. And I didn't have to ask you to do it. You still do that. I love that about you. Like, you just know, you know what? She needs some support. She needs some love. Like, you will give that to me. You don't compete with me. We're not adversaries. We're two different people. So
and you do the back, right? You do that for me as well.
And that's huge.
Yeah, it is.
One of the other things that I really believe this with all my heart, the universe will show you signs that the person that you're compatible with is your person. And something that happened with us that I always think about this. I saw you so many times. I ran across you. Like, we would see each other. We were not together. We saw each other even a couple of years before we met. And I would always just feel your energy. And there was something about you. I didn't think I was going to date you. I never thought I was going to marry you.
Right.
But there was a connection, like, even when we would pass each other. And I remember a couple of times we made eye contact. I had to look away. I was like, "Ooh, I'm married. I can't be looking at him."
Hey, and I've told you this before, though, when I was working at the club, because I used to run security, I was a bouncer at a bunch of nightclubs, and I run security, and Melanie came in one day, and when you came in, you were with your ex-husband.
Yeah.
And when you walked in, I remember thinking, I got kind of irritated because you were so fine. I'm like, why in the hell is she with him? Damn it. She's supposed to be with me. Why is she with him? I don't even know her. I don't know him. But damn it, she's not supposed to be with him. It's supposed to be with me. It irritated me. It actually did. That's crazy.
This is weird. Okay, I'm going to tell you how weird this is. And you guys, I actually believe this is part of compatibility. It's going to be a little bit weird. Something that was weird was the first time I met your ex-wife. I met her in the club and she followed me to the bathroom to talk to me. And I was like, oh, it's about to go down. She want to fight me in the bathroom over this man.
She knew.
She knew you had told her that you were dating me. And she kind of followed me in the club by the bathroom. And then she was like, are you Melanie? And I was like, yeah, I'm Melanie. And she's like, oh, I'm Anthony's ex-wife, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Here we go. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Girl, I got my makeup on. I'm not trying to fight you in this club. And then she said this, and this is the weird part. She said, you're perfect for him. You are so beautiful. You are exactly what he needs. And that was just weird to me. I was like, why is she saying this to me? But I think that what she was saying was she knew what you wanted. And she knew that I was a match to you. That thing that I was saying earlier, like we were so well matched that other people picked it up immediately. When they saw us together, they'd be like, you two belong together. Even on first dates, people were like, you guys are a beautiful married couple. And we're like, we're dating. We're not married to each other. We're dating. So it's an energy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? She actually told me that too. Because she spoke to me. She was like, oh, I just want to let you know, I saw Melanie and I met her and she is beautiful. And she was like, good job. I can't be mad at you. I was like, oh, appreciate that. You know,
I appreciate the beauty, but I just got to say it's more to me than the beauty. The beauty's good, but I like when people recognize that I'm smart and that I'm interesting and I have depth and I'm spiritual.
Yes.
But she didn't get all that in the first time. But she knows.
Yeah,
now.
she's looking at the beauty.
She's looking at the beauty.
In the beauty. The beauty.
That's always, for most people, that's what they think compatibility is, right? It's physical appearance. Like, are you attractive? I'm turned on by you. There's chemistry there.
Right. You know, I think one of the most important things about compatibility, if you want to find a compatible partner,
yes,
you have to be who you really are.
100.
Who you really are. Don't fake the funk. If you're weird and you're creepy, you into that kind of stuff, be that. Be that. Now, not every woman's going to want the weird, creepy guy.
Right.
But guess what?
Someone will.
Those women aren't for you. There's going to be some other chick that you're going to eventually meet that's going to be like, oh my God, I was looking for a weird, creepy guy because I'm a weird, creepy chick. And boom, true love. It happens just like that. But
I found you.
Right, but you can't. But most people are worried about, I don't want to scare this person off, so let me act a certain. No, you got to be who you are.
100%.
Because you got to spend your life with that person. Like most people do, they pretend to be something that they're not. And then once they get committed and they get married, then it's like, haha, surprise, sucker. And then who they really are comes out and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for. I don't even like you.
Yeah, I don't like you.
Yeah, and then you'll feel the same way about them. So it's not worth it to play. And the beautiful thing about a great relationship is that you can be yourself.
Yes.
That's the beauty. That's when you're vulnerable. That's when the love shines and you can connect when you are yourself. And then you have someone that loves you and appreciates you for who you are. Because I dated lots of chicks that were like, you are a lot and you're out there. And it's like, yeah, I am, huh? And, a lot of them ran off screaming. That's okay. Goodbye. Hope you find what you want. But I'm going to continue to be me. It's like you got to be a beacon. Like I always say, and you just, whatever you are, your brand, you got to be true to that brand and don't change. And I always say, Coca-Cola's on the beach on a hot day and they got the sign, they're beacon, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Somebody comes by and goes, oh man, I wanted 7-Up. Can you make a 7-Up instead? Can you do that? And they're like, nope, we're Coca-Cola. But if you're going to lose money, I'm going to buy a lot of sodas and I got all my people. Nope, keep it moving. I hope you find what you want.
Yes.
And to let that person go. And then eventually somebody's going to come by that's looking for Coca-Cola.
Yes.
But if Coca-Cola tried to switch and tried to do a 7-Up, it would be a crappy 7-Up.
Right.
And then they would lose out. So don't give up your power or what you are or your brand. Stay true to it. And you'll eventually find someone that loves you and that wants what you have to offer.
Yes. And I think it's super important to really pay attention. Do you like the same things? Because you're going to spend a lot of time together, so you have to like the same things. A great example of that is our beautiful Nicole and Ryan. Nicole likes some crazy stuff. I mean, and she's that's who she is.
Yeah.
She likes witches and Friday the 13th and Halloween and Darth Vader and David Bowie. Like, who likes that, Nicole? And guess what? Ryan likes all that stuff too. Yep. Like, your person is your mirror. Like, they like what you like. They want what you want. And so don't hide who you are and what you want. Be that. You know, with you and I, Anthony, when we met, like, we both love fashion. We both have always loved fashion. And we would go out on dates and be like, what you gonna wear? What you gonna wear? Mm-hmm. So we talked about fashion. We love music. So we would always go dancing.
We love comedy.
We loved comedy. So many of our dates were stand-up comedy shows,
clubs, yeah.
Comedy clubs. Here we are, 30 years later. Anthony, we watch comedy. We watch stand-up comedy probably every day. Mm-hmm. Because that's something we've always had in common. Mm-hmm. So you want to notice what people like and don't make yourself like them. You just stay true to your brand, like you said, and then you'll attract someone that likes the things that you like, and you'll be compatible because you have shared interest. And I think that's hugely important. And one of the main things, like, I hope my single people could really hear me. If you want to get married and you want a family, say that. Stop all this, like, I don't want to say it because I don't want to scare them off. If they're going to get scared off because you want that, then they're not your person, because they should want it too. You don't want to get with someone that you're trying to talk into that. You don't want to get with someone who's like, I don't really want a family. And you know that you do. Why? That's not your person. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care how rich they are. I don't care what kind of car they drive. They're not your person.
Even if they have a vagina. Nope, still don't matter.
Even then.
Even
Anthony.
then,
yes,
I agree.
Even then. Okay.
I agree.
I'll let you have that one. Okay.
Thank
You're
you
welcome. So you want to look for signs. You want to feel it, right? You want to feel that ease and that flow with the person. And you shouldn't feel like you have to adjust yourself or something's wrong with yourself. I dated so many guys before you, Anthony, that said this to me. You are a lot. You're really blunt. You're really straightforward. You're kind of like a guy. You seem like a guy the way that you are, like you're aggressive. And I did not give a damn because I was very passive in my first marriage. So I was choosing to be more and bigger, and I grew from that relationship. And I did not like playing small. As soon as a guy said that to me, I was like, bye. Bye. You need to keep it moving because you are not for me. I'm not adjusting myself for you. Been there, done that. I will not do that again. So all of your relationships are helping you develop into who you really want to be. So when you choose your next partner and they choose you, it needs to be mutual. And there is no, I like you, but I wish you would change this. Right?
Very true. And you know what? And I love that about you. I was glad that you were like that. That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
So that was perfect.
Yes. The other thing, I see people, they turn on themselves. Like if they like someone, what they do is they go, oh, he doesn't like that, or she doesn't like that. Something's wrong with me. They don't like me. Not everyone is for everyone. That's a big way you know that you're not compatible. If they're not feeling you, it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means you're not compatible because you're doing the same thing. There's people you're meeting and they're like, oh my God, you're amazing and I want you. And you're like, nope, I'm not feeling it.
Isn't that crazy how people do? And we coach people all the time that do that.
Yeah.
And just because you might like the qualities in that person, if they don't feel that back with you,
there's no compatibility.
Right. But a lot of times, you know how they do it. They get almost like, no, you have to do it because I like you.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to now.
Yeah.
And they'll get upset with the other person.
Yeah.
And they'll spend time trying to figure out how to get that person to give in.
Yeah. Let it go. Let it go. They're not your person, and that's okay.
And we know, we've seen people that have literally done that for decades.
Yes.
Don't
get stuck.
Decades.
Don't get
Still
stuck
waiting for someone or hoping that it's going to happen. Literally decades.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that.
So if I could put compatibility in a nutshell, it's mutual. You're feeling them. They're feeling you. It's easy. There's a flow. And you want to explore more.
Something that can mess up compatibility too that I've seen over the years, it's friends.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, girls. They got all their girlfriends around them.
Oh, yeah.
And so their compatibility is not really based on what that individual really wants. It's what they're being influenced, what their peers are saying, what the girls are saying. Oh, girl, he ain't fine enough. Oh, he ain't rich enough. Oh, girl, he ain't that. And they listen to that. They buy into that.
Right.
Don't get sucked into that. Don't fall into that trap.
Yeah, no, that's very true. When I recommend this, when you're dating, don't tell your people all the details. You need to figure it out for yourself. Because here's the thing. People are communicating with you through the filter of their own trauma. So they're going to give you advice based on their trauma, not even who you are and what you want. It's through them. So why are you asking someone else what you want, what you need? It's like the people that would tell me you were a player, right? I didn't care about that. That was their issue. They had issues with players. I had never experienced a player. I had been married for a long time. So I was like, a player? Oh, what's that like? I want to check that out. Okay, let's see. I want to be a player. I like it.
You know what?
I like a hot boy. I like a hot boy.
Actually, we talked about this before. You were dating someone light dating that I knew.
Yes.
And then when we started dating, that person came to me.
Yes.
It was like, man, she a player. Why you with her? Man, she a player. And I was like, she's a what? She's a player, man. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. A woman that's not afraid to go for what she wants.
Yes.
So he thought he was throwing salt in the game. Like, I'm going to be like.
He just wanted me back because I had left him because he was not, you know what? He wasn't supportive. And he wasn't encouraging. He was always making little digs. And I was like, I don't have time for this. You got to go. You got to go. And then when he saw me with you, he's like, you dating Ant? Man, you dating Ant? Ant's a good guy, but he's a player. I was like, so am I. Good. That's good. We players together.
That's right.
Let's play, baby. Let's play.
Playing.
Let's play.
That's right.
We're still playing, right?
That's right, baby.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
So you guys, seriously, it's not that hard. It really is about ease and flow, honesty, and communication. Like if you can get those things, be real. And if they don't like it, don't take that personally. Let them go. Keep moving. Your person is going to show up and just really enjoy you. And you're not going to have to try so hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to tell you this story.
Oh.
We got time? Yeah,
yes, we have time.
And
keep it tight.
And this is a story that I'm not really, it's interesting.
Okay.
So I have this older guy that I used to play basketball with when I lived in Fresno. And he was kind of like a father figure in a way. Great guy, love him to death. And I went on a date and I was telling him I had a date that night and I was looking forward to it. And the girl was really pretty and it was like, all right, this is going to be fun. And so as soon as she got in the car with me, she looked at me and said, I'm going to tell you right now, we're not having sex. Don't think we're going to have sex. I'm not the kind of girl. And she went into this whole story. I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell is she talking about? All right, whatever.
Right.
So we went out and she had a great time because I'm not going to front. I know how to date.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you on an adventure. I'm going to show you.
You're a great dater.
Right. So I'm looking for compatibility and there was nothing there. Nothing at all.
Right.
And afterwards, but she was feeling compatible.
Right.
And then afterwards, it's like, okay, let me take you home because there's nothing here. Thank you for the date. All right, drop you off. And she was like, don't take me home. Take me to your house. I like you a lot. I feel we have so much in common, so much interest. Please take me home with you. She was literally begging me to take her home. I didn't because I did not feel any compatible. Actually, it was a turnoff.
Right.
Her personality. So I dropped her off and she was upset. The next day, I got to the park and I was telling my friend about it, the guy, and he was just telling him how she reacted and trying to have sex and this and that again. And she was calling me and she was like begging me for another date. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it one more time to see if there's compatibility. Maybe I didn't gauge it right. So I'm going to go pick her up. So I went to her house to pick her up. And this was the first time going to her house. I knocked on the door and my boy answered the door.
Shut up.
It was his daughter.
Shut up.
It was his daughter.
No.
And it was like, oh. And he knew. And we would just looked at each other like, oh, hey. And he was like, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
That's crazy. Talk about the law of attraction.
Yeah.
That's the law of attraction in action right there.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so don't go around telling people your stories about dating because you don't know who knows who. That's very true. That's actually, that's true story.
Yeah.
True story.
So just wanted to share that. And sorry about that, homie. If you're listening. I don't want to say your name.
Don't say his
out of
name.
respect.
Yeah, don't say his name out of respect.
Yes. But Compatibility, man. You can't force it.
Yes. And, we're all about energy. We're all about law of attraction. If you pay attention to the energy, you guys, you'll know. Override your stories, override your blocks, feel the energy. And it shouldn't just be sex energy. It should not just be hot. It should be, man, I really like you and you really like me. That's when you know that you have compatibility. You really like each other as people. That like is so important, because if you're going to spend years together, Anthony, I've been with you for 30 years because I like you. I love you. I love you to death. But the fact that I like you so much, I want to be with you. I can't wait to come home and talk to you.
I agree.
Can't
Both ways.
I could just sit next to you because I like you.
We chose wisely.
Yes.
We invested wisely.
Yes. So compatibility is huge.
And with compatibility, last thing I want to add too, don't ignore the warning signs.
Right.
Because, a lot of people, because they want that relationship so bad, they're trying to force that compatibility. And there's warning signs about that person. And if they're that big, pay attention to them. Don't ignore it. Don't figure, it's just going to go away. Or don't figure, I'll fix that person later on. Don't do that.
Yes.
Pay attention to it all.
Pay attention to the warning signs. And then also pay attention to the universe telling you, come this way. Come this way. Because it may be in a package that you didn't expect. It may be a type that is not your normal type. So listen and pay attention to the universe telling you to come this way. We had a podcast where we talked about our whale story.
Yeah, that was earlier podcast.
Yeah, that was an earlier
I think that was
podcast.
like the first or second one.
Yeah, and the universe literally told me, come this way. This is your man. This is your guy. When I had doubt, always there were signs from spirit to move me back towards you.
And people, if you guys didn't hear that story, you need to check that story out.
Yeah,
it's our whale story. It's mind blowing.
Yes, we'll put it in the links.
It still blows my mind to this day.
Yeah, so I'm glad we listened to the signs. I'm glad we're compatible, and thank you for just making it so easy.
And thank you for being yourself from day one, so I could find you, so we could feel your frequency.
Yeah, baby.
That's right, baby. So on that note,
yes,
it's the end of the show. That was great.
It is.
I had a good time. That was a great conversation.
I always have a good time with you. You make me laugh. You're fun.
Yes.
You my friend. You my friend.
And guys, if you guys don't forget to check out our book, Crack the Code: Secrets to Achieving Your Happily Ever After. So make sure you get a copy. Available on Amazon.com. What else we got going on? If you guys want to sign up for coaching, feel free to go to theamazingclarks.com if you would like to coach one-on-one with Melanie and I. Last but not least, if you guys are interested in becoming a life coach, or if you just want to learn some great techniques to life coach yourself, go to the Law of Attraction LifeCoachAcademy.com, because we train and certify life coaches across the globe. And Melanie Clark has this amazing course for singles that I'm actually excited about as well.
Yeah.
Tell them about that real quick before we sign off.
Yes. I'm really excited about my course. It's a 4-week course, and I'm going to be repeating it. And it is, I want to get married now.
Now.
You got to declare to the universe what you want, and I'm going to help you over the next 4 weeks. When you sign up for this course, I'm going to hold your hand. We're going to tap into that energy, and we are going to attract husbands this year. I'm super excited. And then one more thing that I want to say is we talked about compatibility today. Go to theamazingclarks.com and do the compatibility report card.
Yes.
See where you're at. It starts with you. Grade yourself. Like, where am I at? Do I need to increase my honesty?
A great catch?
Are you a great catch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Grade the person that you're dating to see if you're really compatible.
Yes, 100%. So that was a great show, baby. I love you. This was a great topic. I want to dive into it a little bit more. I'm sure we're going to come back and talk about this a little bit more, but this was fun tonight.
So there you go, people. We gave it to you. Now what you going to do with it? See you next time.
See you next time.